Shalom. Allah start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Citations to the whole fillet, this pushing the truth across four corners of the earth, our faith, truth, and sincerity. I'm on about back again that city. This one going to about this one going to Psalms 91 and 1. It's gonna be quick, not gonna make this too long. This one going to about, going to this chapter real quick. It's not gonna be the whole chapter, but it's going to about, in these times that me myself first foremost, in these times to really trust in the Lord Yahweh Yahushua, in His truth, continue to believe in the Lord Yahushua, and fast and pray, and hope for mercy and deliverance and covering, to have that hedge of protection about the Lord Yahushua, And the only ones that gonna have that hedge of protection is the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino natives, which are the Israelites, and like hopefully I'm part of the righteous number, to have the mercy and deliverance from Lord Yahushua, in these times, But I'm getting to it. It's Psalms 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. I'll read it again. Psalms 91 and 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. So the secret place, it's the truth and wisdom knowledge of Lord Yahushua, Lord Yahweh Bahashem Yahushua, this truth that the apostles and elders and brother great don't teach, give you understanding of His word, trusting in this truth, and abiding, in His truth, because all these other philosophies, that's out there and doctrines is not gonna keep you it's not gonna keep you at peace, within knowing understanding His word, because these other doctrines, they it's all everywhere, right? It has no it don't have Yahweh Shah behind it. These other camps, these other camps like IUIC or ISUPK, so forth, that don't teach the correct doctrine. They don't have Yahweh Shah, behind it. Lord Yahweh Shah not dwelling, not with, those camps. The Lord Yahweh Shah, Lord Yahweh Shah is with the men with the men of Great Millstone, the apostles, Apostle Hall, Apostle Ricard, Apostle Ramlah, Apostle Gabar, and the elders, the men of the Lord, that teach the truth, week in, week out, give it to you, straight up, not sugarcoating it, because the truth of word Lord, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, Gotta give you the good, gotta give you the good news and the bad news, right? So like, those that abide in His truth, the truth of Lord Yahweh Bashan Shah, that the apostles and elders brother great don't teach, it's gonna be okay, because you had that peace, you had the real knowledge, you had the peace of the word of Lord Yahweh Shah, all these other doctrines, you're not gonna have no peace. You're gonna be, confused, and these other accounts and so forth. They're teaching, these these doctrines or the word of Lord the wrong way. Gonna lead you the wrong way to destruction. That's why I know a lot of so-called Negro, Latino, Native Israelites that do follow these other camps, that don't get away from them and come to the real understanding of the word of Lord Yahweh Shai that the apostles and elders teach, gonna be destroyed, if you don't get away from it, But that's the Lord Yahweh Shai's will, for those to come out of those camps and come to the understanding, the real knowledge of the Lord Yahweh Shai, the middle Lord Great Millstone, to teach it correctly, so you can have the understanding of the peace of the word, word of Lord Yahweh Shai, you know, and not be, get the word I'm saying, you won't be so unsure, about the word Lord. You have a sure, a sure understanding of it, and knowing what's to come, knowing the end, understanding the prophecies, definitely understanding what the MOTB is, the mark of the beast is, which is the chip, the microchip, you know, and much more. But go to Psalms 91 and 2. I would say of the Lord Yahweh, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, my power, in Him would I trust. So the Lord Yahweh Shah, is our refuge, the elect. Those that believe in Lord Yahweh Shah, the elect, will depend on Lord Yahweh Shah in these times. We'll depend on Lord, and trust in Him. Because Lord Yahweh Shah is going to be the one is going to deliver His elect in these times going forward. But in this verse, Psalms 91 and 3, surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence. And so, that goes into about the thermonuclear missiles. The thermonuclear missiles that are going to be shot towards America, Babylon the Great. So the elect going to be, the elect of the so-called Negro, Latino natives, Israelites going to be delivered, from the wrath and destruction from the thermonuclear missiles. From the Lord Yahweh Shah is going to deliver His elect. And 2/3 that's not of that righteous number of Israelites going to be destroyed. In the thermonuclear war, the missiles being shot, and by the Lord Yahweh Shah returning in the angels and in the so-called UFO. But next verse, Psalm 91 and 4, He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. So Lord Yahweh Shah, this truth, is like I say, it's gonna be your shield and buckler. It's gonna be what's gonna uphold you. This knowledge, this wisdom, knowledge, Lord Yahweh Shah, having a name, believing in the name of the Lord Yahweh Shah, having this truth, being in the spirit of Lord Yahweh Shah, and not being the spirit of the world, because being in the ways of the world, the mindset of this world, gonna get you destroyed. Or like I said, getting into these other philosophies or what it may be, or this world is not gonna lead you to salvation. It's gonna lead to destruction. It's not gonna deliver you. You going into these other doctrines, philosophies, and it's not leading you in the right direction. Like I said, it leads you down to nothing but great deal of troubles. Because you were led the wrong way. Excuse me. You was led the wrong way by these camp leaders or whatever. These other camps, leaders. Like I say, IUIC, ISBK, and so forth. Those are not teaching the correct doctrine. They're leading you astray. For like understanding the prophecies. But the middle of Great Millstone, like I said, the apostles and the elders of the middle of Great Millstone got to give you an understanding of it correctly. But Psalms 91 and 5, thou shalt not be afraid of. Read it again. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor by the arrow that flies by day. Like I say, something like I say, time of Jacob's trouble, all here breaking loose. Out here in America, Babylon the Great. when it happens. And I say, the thermonuclear missiles being shot, being shot towards America, Babylon the Great coming down. The elect gonna be, have a peace in their spirit, like, and trusting Lord Yahweh, to be to not be afraid, to not, and have a real sure trust in Lord Yahweh, to, and hope to be delivered, because this is all about hope. I said, me myself first from all hope. Lord Yahweh have mercy on me, and I'll be delivered. Have His mercies, in these times going forward to be delivered, and especially, right now, but in the times going forward, it's going to get way worse than what it is right now, But the elect is gonna, gonna have, like I said, a peace of mind. It's gonna be have a sure, understanding of His word and trusting the Lord Yahushua. And not waver, from the truth. Not be like, want to lead the truth because, things not going their way or what it may be, but it's all about trusting Lord Yahushua in the midst of troubles, and hope for His deliverance, in these times going forward, man, because it's going to get serious, man, because the scriptures say the righteous shall scarcely be saved. Like I say, so those midst of troubles, and the destruction that's gonna come upon this place, America, Babylon Great. You gotta trust the Lord Yahushua. Fast and pray, beg the Lord Yahushua for mercy, man, and just hope that He hear you and He deliver you, in these times going forward. But next verse, Psalms 91:6, nor the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. So let's say these diseases and so forth, the plagues that are gonna come upon America, Babylon Great, the destruction, the thermonuclear missiles, all, the things that Lord Yahushua got prepared for America, Babylon Great, to be destroyed, the plagues, and then, like I said, ultimately, the thermonuclear missiles being shot and destroying everything that you see here. This verse, Psalms 91:7, 1,000 shall fall at their side and 10,000 at their right side, but it shall not come nigh thee. So the destruction that's gonna come upon the elect is not gonna be touched, or any pestilence or disease or what it may be, it's not gonna touch the elect. But the elect gonna be delivered from the thermonuclear missile, the destruction. They ain't gonna be touched, The Lord Yahushua gonna deliver His elect from that. But on this verse, Psalms 91:8, I want to end off of this, and I didn't want to make this too long. Only with thy eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. So the elect of the so-called Negro Latino natives, the elect is gonna see the the destruction of the so-called white man, East Sodomites, when they being delivered, and by the Lord Yahushua being and getting beamed up, taken up in a chariot, so-called UFOs, and seeing the destruction of America, Babylon Great. Other countries gonna get hit as well. Missiles, not every country, and not the whole earth not gonna be destroyed, but the elect is gonna see that destruction. From being in the chariot, safe from that, from the thermonuclear missiles, from that fire, and from the second death, man. And seeing the end of the so-called white man, East Sodomites, wicked rule. Wicked being seeing the Edomites, so-called white red people, out of power, no more of they time of being in rulership is gonna be over, man. And the elect, is gonna rejoice. Those that believe in Lord Yahushua, the elect, the 1/3, the 144,000, 1/3 of the Israelites that believe in Lord Yahushua to the end, is gonna rejoice, man, be happy, and and it's gonna be a beautiful thing to see, once it happens, man. Hopefully I'm part of Russia, to experience that. But with that, hope this was edifying. So again, I'd like to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakadash, to the apostle elders, to the Sisakim brothers, to the few Akwaf sisters that do listen, keep the faith, and Yahushua keep fighting with that. Say